Hi and welcome to Serenity Cove Crafts. My name is Linda and today we are going to make the most adorable little sunflower baby. So, you don't have to worry about the row count. I will be putting it down in the description. So go ahead and hit that more button to find the row counts. Now I started off for the head. I used Lion brand yarn. It's called Pound of Love, and I believe this color is called Sugar Cookie. So it's a beige color. Now another color that would be fantastic for the face of the sunflower would be like a nice chocolate brown, a nice dark chocolate brown, because the center of a sunflower is brown. So you can have your little sunflower baby with the brown face and big brown eyes. Okay, but I chose to go with this. It's just that it's easier to see on camera. Okay, so what I did is I knit. I used my 46 pin Addi. You can use your 48 pin Sentro machine. It doesn't matter which one. And I knit for the head 35 rows. I cast off. And then now just going to cinch and close off both ends. Now, if you're brand new to knitting machines, check out my earlier tutorials. I do have tutorials that show you how to cast on, change colors, cast off, how to double your work, cinch your ends, all that good stuff is in there. Okay, so I'll just go quickly. So to cinch the ends, I'm just going to reinforce. I'm just going to pick up all these stitches here just to reinforce this last row. This is the row that I'm going to be cinching, and you will be doing the same thing on that side. So I'm just going to do the one end with you, and I will leave you to do the other end yourself. Now today I'm just doing a simple knitting project, not a crafting. We're not hot glue gunning anything or adding dowels or, oh goodness, pipe cleaners, nothing like that. Just straightforward today. Okay, so I'm back over here where I started, right? I'm just going to pull this tight, and I am just going in here and I am going to tie it off. I like to knot twice. If it's a hat that I'm working on, a beanie, I would triple tie it just to make sure that it doesn't come apart. All right, so there's the one end. So go ahead, do the same thing with this end, and I will meet you when I'm done my step. All right, so I've got both ends cinched and tied off. Okay, so now I'm going to double my work. I'm going to insert one end inside the other so that it looks like a little hat. There we go. So I'm going to tie this off now. Just take the yarn tail from the outer edge, go straight through the center, and you're going to come through the center on the inside. Right? And now we're just going to tie this off. I'll tie it a few times. Right. So now we're starting to get the shape. So now we're going to make a drawstring. So we're going to take the same color yarn, take a fairly long piece. You're going to want to double it. This just strengthens your drawstring. So with a double length of yarn, And go ahead and thread your needle. And on this outer edge here, I'm just going to pick up 2 stitches, skip one, so I'm passing over the other one, going under 2, over, under 2, over, under, and just go ahead and pull this. Don't pull it all the way out or you'll have to start over. So leave that hanging there. We're just going to do this all the way around. We'll be doing this exact step on the body as well. So I'm just showing you here, and for the body, you'll be on your own to do that. Don't worry, I'll tell you what to do and when to do it. Now some people add the drawstring only after they've stuffed their piece. I always mention that I like to add it before. This way it's already in place and I can pull it tight to see if I have enough stuffing. That's just my personal preference. And that's what I find works for me. Everything that I've learned, I've had to teach myself. I mentioned before that I don't know how to hand sew. I'm not a hand knitter. I can't crochet to save my life. So pretty much, I don't come from that fiber world. So I've had to teach myself everything. There we go. I'm back at the point where I started. Right. Just go ahead and even these out a bit. All right. So I am going to be using some eyes. So the eyes that I have here. I've already selected the ones I want to use. We'll see if they work. They might be too big. We'll see. So at this point, I'm just usually I insert the eyes first, but what I want to do is get this stuffed as full as I can, just so I can see where the eyes will look best. And this is just some fiber fill stuffing. It's just this is just the loops and thread one. It's not my favorite stuffing, but I had a Michael's coupon for 50% off, so this is what I got with it. I don't think I'll ever come to the end of this supply. I bought too much of it. Okay. And I'm thinking that these eyes might be a little big. I'll go with something a little smaller. Right. There we go. I have these little tools that I bought from, I think it was Amazon. It just helps insert the safety eyes. Okay. So at this point, I just kind of want to get my shape. You see what I mean? If I have the drawstring here, I can already gauge whether I need more stuffing and where about I want the eyes to be. All right. Just smooth it out as best you can. Okay. So I think, let's see here. And I know I can be frustrating. I mentioned before, I don't measure. I just eyeball everything, but I will pull out my tape measure once I've put them in place just so you can get an idea. Okay, and I'm thinking perhaps like that. Let's see. right about there. We'll adjust them, lower it a bit. Okay. See, this way I haven't committed to putting the backs on them yet and having to rip the backs off if they're crooked. Let's see. Okay, I'll go with that. So let me try one of the bigger eyes. Now that I have the head stuffed. I think I will go with the big eyes. Please forgive my wishy-washiness. I'm designing this as I go along. Okay. I think I like the larger eyes. Get some big baby eyes. Okay. Put one over here. And let's see. Just try to open the yarn a bit. Okay. What do you think? I think those eyes look better. Nice big brown innocent eyes. Oh, let's see. Okay. Okay, I will take the stuffing out. And now these are just safety eyes that I bought on either Amazon or Temu. They're just safety eyes. So they have these little holes here at the end. See that? And they just insert, and then you have these little caps, these little plastic caps that go in. And then that way it's difficult for someone to try to yank the eyes out. Now with this tool, actually I need the bigger one because I changed the eye size. Okay. There we go. It's all good. There we go. Look how easy that made it. I didn't even feel it. These came in, I think, through a 3-pack, 3 sizes, I believe. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to flatten this out just so that I can tell you where to put your eyes. Okay. So I have them about I'd say about 1.5 inches from the top hole here. And let's see, if we go from the center post to the center post here, about 2 inches. Right. So now I am going to put this stuffing back in. Right. I'm going to tie this. I am going to add a little more stuffing. I want a nice big round head. Okay. All right. Right, so let's go ahead and tie this off. Now this is where you'll see why you needed the double thickness, because you want to pull hard. You've got to pull real hard here. Get that. And if I only had one thickness or one piece of yarn, it would snap on me. I am just teaching you from my own personal experience. Okay. All right. Now, normally, what I would do is sew this up. I am not going to do that because this, we are going to mattress stitch onto the body. So we're just going to hide the ends. Okay, just go ahead and hide the ends in your work. And hang on to your yarn pieces. They make excellent stuffing. Add them in with your fiber fill and they make excellent stuffing. Okay, now just smush this head around. Okay, I decided that we're going to embroider a mouth, but we're going to do that once we have all the other steps completed. Once we get the head onto the body and the arms and legs onto the body and all of the petals, and then we'll see what kind of smile it wants. And we'll need a little bit of black yarn for that. So just move your head aside for right now. Okay, so with this green, you can go ahead and use a darker green if you want. I believe this is Bernat Premium, and I believe it's called Lush. And that's what I went with. So I knit on here, on my Addi 46 or your Sentro 48, go ahead and knit 60 rows, cast off. You're going to do the exact same steps that you did with the head, okay? We closed both ends, we cinched them, we tied them off, we doubled our work, and that is where I am here. I've doubled my work. So now I'm just going to grab, I'm going to make a drawstring, the exact same step that we did for the head, okay? So go ahead and use your same color yarn, double it as well, make your drawstring, and I will be right back once you've done that. All right, I'm back. I have my drawstring made. There we go, beautiful. Okay, so now we are going to stuff the heck out of this. Let me just grab my yarn here. And I'm also going to grab some of my yarn pieces. There we go, just to show you, just toss them in there. We are going to stuff. Want to make sure that the bottom is really stuffed well. Now he's going to be a chunky little sunflower baby, so no fat shaming. No fat shaming our little sunflower. Right. In my mind, I designed this to have a big body, so not a svelte, thin stem. Now, what I can do at this point for mine isn't going to a child, okay? To add a little stability on the bottom, you can use, if you wanted, you don't have to do this step, beans. Just going to add a few marbles. Just a few marbles. I'm putting it in with the stuffing, just at the bottom. Just so that my poor little sunflower baby isn't going to keel over. There we go. A little bit more. Like I said, this is optional. You do not have to do this step. Okay, should do it. What I want is I want it to be chunky on the bottom and not so chunky on top. That is what my vision is. Let's see if I can achieve it. Things don't always turn out the way I envision them in my mind. Okay. So I just want to make sure that you're pushing a lot of the stuffing down towards the bottom. You want to fill that bottom up. Okay. Now, coming up towards the top. Let's see. I will probably add a little more stuffing. Well, I guess it ended up round anyway. Okay, let's just go ahead and stuff her. Just stuff it good. Go ahead. Close it off. Push the stuffing in. Let's tie this off nice and tight. Right. Oh, there, that's not too bad. So now we're going to just hide the tails because this hole will be covered by the head. There we go. Sort of like an oval, a chunky oval. All right, so now we are going to take this head and we are going to put the head onto the body. So to do that, you just want to take some more of your beige yarn. You're not doubling up your yarn for this. Just grab a piece, nice long piece. Okay. Now you want the holes to match up, to line up, match up. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is start match stitching. I'm trying to do this so you can see it. Hang on. Okay, I'll grab a couple of stitches from here, from the head side. Okay. Just leave yourself a nice tail end here. Okay. Sorry, I keep looking up my camera, trying to make sure that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so once you've got a couple of stitches here, you grab a couple on your green body part. Right? You don't want to pull too tight. Sorry, it's not. Hoping my head isn't going over as I'm doing this. And you just keep following along the same line you've started. I'm sorry, I seem to be linguistically challenged today. Oh, I think it's the heat. The heat's getting to me. Now for the rest of the steps, for the leaves and for the flower petals, you'll be needing your 22 pin machine. I use the Addi, but certainly use your Sentro if that's what you have. And you just keep checking. Just make sure that you haven't gone off course here. Trying to do this, you can see. So I am going to continue like so, all the way around, till I get back to here. Now you see, when you tug at it, look, it just seems seamless. Okay? So just go ahead, work your way around. When I get over to the end, I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back where I started. Now I did tug and pull it as I went along. Okay, so now, here we go. It kind of looks like a turtle right now. Okay, go ahead. Let's go. Actually, I'm just going to cut this down. Okay, so we're going to just tie it off and hide the ends inside the head. Right, it's going to come through here. There we go. All right. Just move him aside. Now we are going to be making the arms and legs. Already have them knit up just to save time. Right. So I'll just show you what I did. Okay. All right, so with the green yarn on the 22 pin machine, I knit 25 rows in the same green. Okay, and then I cast off. Now you're going to be making 4 of these. They're going to be identical, the arms and the legs. Okay, so I'm just going to take the one end here. I'm just going to close it off. Right. Okay. So now, I'm just going to pinch it like so. Right. And you're just going to whip stitch across. Just to sew this into a point. Right. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy whatsoever. Okay, so I just did 4, and let's see. I think I'll just do one more here. Right, and I'm just going to tie this off. All right, so just going to move this over here. Now what we're going to do is just take a little bit of stuffing, not much at all. Okay. Just going to take a bit. We don't want these to be overly stuffed. I want them kind of floppy like that. So you're going to make sure that you push some of the stuffing all the way to the tip. Okay? And then the rest, just spread the rest around the remainder of your leaf here. There we go. See, not much at all. Just going to pull this end, just like so. Just kind of hang on to it. Now you're going to go back to the end that you made the point, where you made the point, and just thread that again. What I'm going to do is feed the yarn over. Now on this side I have the tail end over here, so I'm going to feed this over to the opposite side. just kind of go through. Go through your knitting, just feed it through. Just want to come out over at this end right here. Don't pull too tight. Pull too tight. There you go, you'll do that. Okay, so now if you need to pull this closed a bit, it's this one that you tug at. This one won't get you anywhere. It'll just tug at this. Okay, so now we're just going to whip stitch this closed. You see it? It's not closed entirely. I'm just going to whip stitch the end here. Just makes it easier to sew onto the body. Okay, now that I'm over here, I'm just going to knot it off. See, there was some meaning behind my madness. I started at that end so I could tie it off with this piece over here. Okay, so now we're just going to hide this into the work. This tail out of the way. Just go ahead and hide it. Cut it off. And there you go. You have an arm, leg. Now you do this 4 times. Okay. This one I overstuffed a little. That's okay. They kind of look like little Aladdin shoes. So what we're going to do is sew them on. Okay. Let's sew it. What I'm going to do with the arms, I will use one of them. I'll demonstrate with one. Oh, and the reason you're not cutting off this end is you're using it to sew. Okay, so let's see here. Now, if you had stitch markers, you might want to pin that. I'd say pin it halfway. We're going to sew it about halfway down the body. We want to leave room for the petals. I'm going to be putting these sunflower petals. Now the petals are going to be done the exact same way, but without the stuffing. We'll get into that in a bit. Okay. And because I never have the forethought of bringing my stitch markers with me, just kind of eyeballing. You just want to look at your guy, your little guy here, straight on, and then just kind of go to the side. Okay. And just going to go ahead and sew this end. Let's see. It's a little difficult to see on the same color, but I'm just going to grab a couple of stitches from here. Just going to sew it. If you want, you can go ahead and do mattress stitching with this. I am just going to be going just sort of back and forth like this. Oh, and you want to make sure that your end that folds, the side that folds in, that's the side that'll be facing the front. Sorry, I'm trying to, I have this, I tend to hug my work to myself when I'm sewing. And then you just, if you're not using stitch markers, just keep checking. Just keep checking your work. Make sure you're following where you want it to be. It does look like a little turtle flipper, sort of, if it was curved like that. Well, maybe we'll have to do a little turtle like this. I just may have to. My ideas, I couldn't even explain how they come to me. For example, this one, I started off with a sketch like this. Pretty creepy looking, isn't it? It's like, ours isn't going to look like that. It just gives me a basis. The first thing that I do is I just scribble down a little bit of a rough sketch when it comes to mind. Watching TV or working on a painting. I do all kinds of crafting. So when I'm working on something else, that's when my ideas will come through. So I'm just scribbling things down. And I am an artist as in the essence that I'm in the way that I'm artistic and crafty, but I am certainly not a sketcher. It gets my idea on paper, and then I sit down and work out how to execute it. Okay. All right. I think let's see, I'll go one more here. And then what I like to do is I like to just go along the back side. And then I just kind of grab a couple stitches here and just a couple here. Just on the back side, just to make sure it's nice and secure. But that's my preference. If you're experienced and you have a way of doing it that works for you, go ahead, do that. You know your talents and your skills, so you know what you can do. I come from a place from someone who does not know how to do any of this. So if you're a knitter or a crocheter, I'm sure that yours is going to look, your finishing, your sewing, it's going to look a lot better than mine. And that's okay. That is okay. We're all learning here. Okay? So I've got it sewed on. And I'm just going to hide the end inside the work. Right? So go ahead and do that with the other arm, and then I will meet you back for the feet. Okay, I'm back. There we go. So I've got the little arms, the little leaves. Okay, and I've got one of the legs. So it'll just kind of sit like that. So the way I sewed this, oops, hide that tail end in there, is okay, the same way, but I found the center hole here, and then I just went along the side of it and do the same thing. So you go ahead and do the same thing for this other one. So it's the exact same sewing that you did on the arms. Okay? So go ahead, sew that on. I have faith in you. Go ahead, and then I will meet you, and we will be doing the petals next. All right, I'm back. Look at him. Oh, so cute. All right. So now we're going to work on the petals. Okay. So for the petals, actually, I brought some stitch markers. See if I remember to use them. Okay, so for the petals, I'm just using this yellow. I'm not even sure what it's called. Just whatever yellow you have. You can go with a nice bright yellow, or you can go with an orange. It's all up to you. This is your baby. You do what you want. Okay, so I've knit 16 rows, and I've cast off. So we're going to make the petal the same way we did the legs, but without the legs and arms, but without stuffing. Okay, go ahead, just thread one end, kind of cinch that one a bit. Okay, so I'm just going to tie off this end. Right, going to fold it like so. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that point on the top of the petal. Let's see here. And the color I'm using is like a golden, almost a mustard color. Okay. Let's see here. Maybe do one more. Go ahead, tie it off. We're going to do the exact same thing. Okay. Now, I'm just going to cinch this a bit. Okay. And the tail's on this side. So I'm just going to pass this tail end all the way through here, coming up over here on the opposite side. Okay, and then now we're just going to just whip stitch this closed. And the reason I do this is I find it's easier to sew this on than to sew around the opening. But that is up to you. If you have a method that you like doing, that you like using rather, go ahead. I don't follow rules. I mean, laws, yes. Rules, no. As far as creativity goes, I don't follow rules. And I suggest you not to follow them either. When it comes to creativity, they're suggestions. They are suggestions, and follow them or go your own way. It's all good. I don't want you to think that you have to, follow rigid rules. The important thing is that you try and you're doing it. You're doing something. And if the first one doesn't work out, that's okay. Do it again. Try another one. Assess where you went off course and then just try to correct it. It's all good. We're all students in life. Okay, so I'm just going to tie this to this end. All right, and I'm going to hide this tail end inside the petal. Okay, just cut this off. Okay. Now, I knit 7 of these. I'm not sure if we're going to use all 7 or if we're going to use 6. So if you're knitting right now, just do 6. I'm thinking, you know what, I think, let's see. I'm going to be putting these on. You know what, go ahead, do 7. Yes, there we go. So we're going to take the first one, and we are going to sew it right here to the center. All right. You don't have to spread it out too much. We want room for the other petals. Okay. Actually, I'm just going to, just for myself and so that it's easier while I'm filming, I'm just going to move this over to this side. I'm right-handed and it's just easier to start at this end, especially when I'm demonstrating. And I can't hug the piece close to my chest. Okay? Now the first one's going to be a little difficult to sew because you've got that knot that we cinched. That's okay. Do your best. Just want to center that first petal right in the middle. All right, kind of under. Okay, let's see. Well, I think I'm just going to go as far as this. And just going to go in the back. Okay. Just pull that tight. And I'm just going to sew along the back. And it helps it to stand up nice and straight too. Now, Serenity Cove Crafts, I do not have my own Facebook page at this point. I don't know if I ever will, honestly. I don't think that I would appreciate having to moderate a group. So, when you're done this, go ahead and post your finished result on some of the Facebook groups, the Circular Knitting Machine, the Addi, the Sentro. I belong to a handful of them. So if you post on several, I'm certain that I will see it. And I just can't wait to see it. And if you're enjoying this tutorial, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button, give me a like, hit subscribe, and drop me a line. Leave me a comment. I love reading comments. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and tie this off, hide the end. My channel is still a baby. I've only been doing this for 8 or 9 weeks. So a lot of growing pains. I'm learning. I'm teaching myself as I go along. Okay. Let me just, oops. Okay, I'm going to be doing this off camera. I'm just going to show you how to position them. Let's hang on here. And this would be why I don't use stitch markers. There we go. Okay, here's 1. And then we'll go 2. I'm just tacking them on with the markers just to show you, just to give you an idea. Okay. All right, so we got the 1, we got the 2, and we do have room for a 3rd petal. Okay, so go ahead, sew 7 petals on. Your petal, your first one's just going to be right at the top. That's going to be your centering point. And then the others. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be stopping when you get here to this chunky little neck. So you're not going to take the petals all the way. I mean, you can. If that's something you want to do, knit a couple more petals and then add them down here. Sort of like a collar. Okay? But I'll leave that up to you. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to sew all my petals on, and then I will be right back. All right, I'm back a little prematurely here. I just wanted to show you, I've got the 2nd petal on. What I want to do is just to sew just about here, maybe about 1/2 inch, okay? So I have not gone across the back yet. So what I'm just going to do is, tell you, I'm making this up as I go along. Here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a little bit on this petal. Okay, grab some. Let's see, over here. Just want to tack them just so they're not flopping around. Okay. Okay, I think that's better. What do you think? Okay, so then now I'm just going to, so you can do that with the following petals, and I'm just going to show you. I'm just sewing through the back like I do. So I started here, I sewed across, I sewed up a little, and then now I'm just going across here, and then I will be tying it off. Almost done. Tie this off. Okay. Just hide your ends. Okay. Yes, that looks better. Okay, I'm back. I don't have everything sewn on, but I wanted to show you the way I sewed these here. There's not that much room to put this fourth one. So what we'll do, see, we improv. Put it there, and it will overlap with the body right here. And I think that actually looks better. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sew it. And then I'm going to do the same here, and then overlap it down here. And then I will be back. Unless I think of something else, I will be back. All right, I'm back. Isn't he cute? Ooh, I like it. I like it. There's the back. Little legs. Oops. Even with the marbles, he still falls over. I could have put more marbles in there. Okay, so now we are going to embroider a mouth. Just grab some black yarn. All right, let's go ahead and thread your needle. All right, I'm going to start with the mouth first. What you want to do is just find another entry point. Okay, and what do you think, guys? You think we should give him a full smile? Your needle goes in somewhere else, and you make it come out where you want that first stitch to start. Right. Let's try this. Okay, so you pull it through. Not all the way. Just leave some of that tail behind. Okay. Now that one's about here. A little on the inside. Let's see. What do we think? Right about here? Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just trying to think of eyebrows, because I'm only going to do a single strand for the mouth. So now I need to decide where I want my needle to go to work on eyebrows, and I'm just thinking. Let's try. I'm going to want my eyebrow to start here. Just guide your needle through. Okay. Now, we're still concentrating on this smile, but we're coming out here. Okay, so you're just going to guide the yarn with your hand. See that? Look at that. I think that's a pretty dandy smile. Okay, so what do we want to do with the eyebrows? Okay, let's see, we want them to maybe come to about here. Okay, so I'm going to go in here because that's where I want the yarn to go to. And I am going to have the yarn come out. Let's see, right over, try to get these eyebrows straight. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I gotta flip it upside down here. About there. Okay. So you're always kind of thinking one step ahead to where you're going next. Now, forget about that. And we're just going to take the yarn. Don't pull too tight. Pull too tight, you're going to lose your smile. Okay, and how's that for an eyebrow? Do we like that or do we not want one? Okay, well, we'll try coming out here. Let's see. Went a little past. Okay, so I'm just going to, I'm not sure if I'm keeping the eyebrows yet, but what I'm going to do is take your needle and I'm planning my exit. You want to exit the exact same hole you went in through. Okay, so I'm just guiding that needle over here. In life, I don't usually have an exit strategy, but I do have one here. Oh, goodness. I fly by the seat of my pants. Okay, now let's see. I'm not sure. I'm not committing to this 100% here. What do you think? With the eyebrows or without? I am thinking maybe without. And now you actually get to see how you can correct a mistake. I didn't tie it off. Okay, but I am going to cut this a little shorter now that I've decided I'm not going to get eyebrows. But it's entirely up to you. Take time. I'm just trying not to have this video go too long. I could play around with it. But at this point, I'm not going to. I'm just going to remember where this hole is. So I want to go in the same hole. Okay, and I'm just rethreading this. I'm going to go back in here. Okay, so now I'm not going to bother with eyebrows. I'm just going to go ahead with the mouth. Okay, so I'm right there. I'm planning my exit here. So this is one reason I don't like working with the loops and thread stuffing, because you almost need a drill to get through it at times. It's challenging me. I'm like, I can't get through this. Hang on. Okay, so I'm trying to guide the needle out this hole. Trying my best to, while drilling through. I'm still kind of drilling through this stuffing. Okay, I think. I'm sorry, guys. It's taking a long time. This stuffing I can't get through. Okay. All right. I'll try going in another way. Let's try going. Okay. I'm taking a roundabout way. Can't get through that stuffing. So what I am going to do here is pull this smile back into shape. Right? Taking a detour. Now I'm going back in where I came out so that I can find my spot here. But, you know, I'm probably not going to cut this out of the video just to show you that things happen. And there you go. See, when you're going in through the same hole, look at that. There shouldn't be any evidence that you went through there. Okay? So now, let's take a look here. I'm just going to tie this. Don't pull too tight. You don't want that smile to get lopsided on you. There we go. Now, you're going to take the rest of your yarn tails here, and you're going to rethread that needle. Okay, now we're going back in this same hole. Back in, and we're just weaving through now. We're just going to come out somewhere. Oh my goodness, this stuffing is driving me nuts. Okay, I'm going to come out here. And there again, try not to pull too hard on that. There. Now see, you can still see the little dot there. That's okay. Just go ahead, poke it in. There we go. There. How's that? Now we're at this end here. Just going to pull this, cut this off. Let's just poke these ends in. Okay, not too bad considering I had a little eyebrow issue and stuffing issue. Now, here's an optional step. I always show this step, especially if you're giving it to a child. So what I like to do is I just take a fabric glue, and in this case I have Aleene's Fabric Fusion. Okay. Now I'm just taking one of my old, I had purchased several Sentro knitting machines over the years, and I've accumulated a lot of these needles. So I utilize them. Okay, I'm just getting a little dab of glue here. Just getting a little on here. Okay, just go under. Let's just wipe this off right away. Now, let's get that into position. There you go. Now once that dries, that should stick on there pretty well. All right. So there we are. Look at that. What a chunky little monkey. Look at that. Well, I think I pulled it off. Looks a lot better than that sketch, doesn't it? Okay, there you go. Well, I hope you enjoyed this journey with me, and our time together has come to an end. I'd like to thank you. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope you took some time out of your busy, crazy, maybe not such a good day, and spent some time with me making something that'll hopefully help you smile. Okay, guys? Until next time, take care and be well.